Hi, I'm back. I'll be reading Chapter 2, A Word. To Live. I'll be reading Chapter 2 of the book, 1000 Gifts. A Dare. To live. Fully right where you are. Chapter 2, A Word. To live and die for. EUCHARIST Thanksgiving is the state of the perfect man. EUCHARIST is the life of paradise. EUCHARIST is the only full and real response of man to God's creation, redemption, and gift of heaven. Alexander SCHMEMANN. I slam upright, jolted the bed hard hands, gripping the cotton sheets wild. There's a halo of light by the door. I breathe, heavy breathe. There are stars. I can hear the clock in the kitchen, the one over the dining room table, making time. One loud, short tick at a time. My chest pounds the hoofs of a thousand stallions running on and away, and the universe outside the window holds. The one struck through with the stars, and I breathe. It was all dream, a mirage of the moon. I feel my hand across the threads of sheets, and there is a bed sure under the body, and there are our morning stars all in place out the window, and his bare shoulders rise and fall beside me in the heavy slumber, and the relief courses through my veins draining away the fair blue. It was all a dream. I fall back to the pillow, lie on relief. I don't close my eyes. I stare out the window, and I wonder that there is real breath in these real lungs, and that is the real red ANTARES scorpions beating hard, hanging below that waning question moon, and I am here to see it. And they were just for nightmares. In one night, a silver thread unraveling through black, and for me, she who says she never has dreams. I lie there and untangle the memory of scenes, the string, all twisted. One long strand of nightmares, plagiarizing life, the fibers of the other, NEOCORTEX, walking through my life, all the life most important. I revisit dream scenes, and I think about this. The are most important. It has seen real. The dream, it was a faceless doctor, just a voice, and it was a PALLID room of walls and no windows, and it was just the uttering of one word, and I can feel it again, how the veins constrict. That haunting C word, the one with GLUTTONOUS belly and serrated teeth, and the VORACIOUS, appetite, to divide and dominate cancer. It's a slam to the gut. I grin and he blandly says the cancer's been invisibly consuming bits and pieces of me while I have both the six babies mop the muddy prints off the floors, kiss the lips of their father at the door. He says there's nothing to be done. All's been devoured. Just wrap up the last of my living already. No more. The heart hammers and the blood surges. Scream of electric blue. Electric blue. Grasping. I had tried to struggle free, to emerge up into life, into the four scone colored walls, the dim light at the door, the pure, white, MATELASSE, bedspread, pulled up over the vows, how I wanted to surface and breathe and keep the skin on and live. But night's noose had tightened, and I have been strangled back into this dream script of telling the news of my impending demise to husband, father, brother, in terrifying nightmare fashion. They all shrug their shoulders, walk away. BLITG. I want to live, fully live. What is the message of dreams? I remember it 4 times, escaping up into consciousness, only for the rope on back into the choked out goodbyes and last anguish touches. I lie there long staring at ceiling, listening to the beat of my untamed heart. This waking to the crack of a nightmare. This violet shock through the veins. Even this might be better than the way I usually wake. Since I want to say, since after the 6 babies, or at least since the third, the first girl, and the one with the dimples, when motherhood began to sag me. But really no, it began years earlier, since the girl with thick glasses in Mr. COLQUHOUN professor's English class read books to escape thoughts of a mama sitting up in a psychiatric hospital aching for the baby. The bled through the blankets. Yes, it really has been all those years since then. For years and mornings I have broken, wanting to die. Life itself twists into nightmare. For years I have pulled the covers up over my head, dreading to begin another day. I be bound to just wreck. Years I lie listening to the taunt of names ringing off my interior walls. One from the past that never drifted far and away. Loser, mess, failure. They are signs nailed overhead, nailed through me, naming me. the stars, all blinking out. Funny this, yesterday morning, the morning before, all these mornings, I wake to the discontent of life in my skin. I wake to self hatred, to the whistle, to get it all done, the relentless anxiety that I am feeling always the feeling. I yell at children fester with bitterness. Forget doctor appointments. Forget doctor appointments. Lose library books. Live selfishly. Skip prayer. Complain. Go. To bed too late. Neglect. Cleaning the toilets. I live tired, afraid, anxious, weary. Years, I feel it. In the veins, the pulsing of raptured hopes. Would I ever be enough, find enough, do enough? But this morning, I wake widely, wanting to live, physically feeling it in the veins, trembling, the heart pant, the lungs, the seeing it in the steady stars. How much I really want to really live. How I don't want to die. Is that the message of nightmares and dreams? To live either fully alive or in empty nothingness. It's the in between that drives us mad. It's the life in between, the days of walking lifeless, the years callous, and simply going through the hollow motions, the self protecting by self distancing, the body never waking, that's lost all capacity to fully feel. This is the life in between that makes us the wild walking dead. Walking dead. The sun climbs the horizon. I throw back the covers. Take another breath and begin. I get to live. A lone morning dove woos from high in the spruce tree. In the kitchen, I stand over the heat of the stove, slowly stirring the wooden spoon through the bubbling up oatmeal. But my eyes are on the window, on the field, freshly fallen snow, CORUSCATES, in the sun, countless stars across fields, trees in the woods, falling soundlessly. There, the blue shadows stretching down by the lane where the gravel curves to the road where that bulk of a yellow lab has been digging hard. Steam rises slowly off the earth's black LOAM life has mirages of its own. The nightmare creeps up. The nap of the neck clamps me in a chokehold of reality. The end will come. Doctor's warning or not, the end will come. And this life of the bare toes across grass. The sky, raining, spring down on eyelashes. The skin, spread close under sheets, blink. The fireflies on dusky June night. All this will all end. I turn off the stove. I toss in a load of laundry, pull a recipe book out of the cupboard to plan the day's menu. Wipe off the counter. Wipe off the counters. I try to breathe and press on, but I'm watered, unended, undone. I can't quite shake the reality of the dream, the nightmare of my life, which rode through this brief land. What is all most important? How to live the fullest life here that delivers into the full life ever after. A child trumps in, boots still on, with a chest full of mail. Between the flyers of the grand opening for a new flooring store in town and a sale on tires lies a letter from my recently widowed father-in-law. Father-in-law. On a hot night, one July, in the dark of room 117, God had used counsel to usher my mother-in-law, his bride of half a century, into the throne room and glory ever after. We had sung that night. What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see. I had laid the cold cloth on the sweat beads on the sweat beads stringing along her brow. I tear open his envelope, slide out the Dayspring card, read his slow Dutch scrawl, but it's the last words of his card that grabbed me thinking. On the beginning of this year, who does he call to come home? Is it me, Lord? May I be ready or us, whoever? Emotion wells spells how this letter, these words, and now after last night's dream wrestle, after my years of mornings, whoever ready for the end of here, whoever ready for the first meeting of him there, whoever soon will I have lived fully or just empty How does one live ready and always? Yes, ultimately, only Jesus. Yes, this premature dying to self, birthing into the cross life, the great cocoon, before emerging into the life unending. Without this Jesus, no one can be ready. But someone, please give me, who is born again, but still so much in need of being born anew. Give me the details of how to live in the waiting cocoon before the forever begins. In my reality, dream reality, I grasp for more time, frantic for more time, but I have to wonder more time for more what? The answer to that determined minds. The road, these so short days take. Hard questions drive me hard to distraction. I check email. More words sent this way, this time from a mother. her 17-year-old, has been diagnosed with yes, specter, that word, to cancer. I try to breathe. Today is hard. What are the messages of God? Her mother types the words across my screen. Any words? I stumble away. Obviously, I have no words, no answers. I am groping for my own way, desperately, feeling a long today, for a way to live through this fleeting blink of a life. How do we live fully so we are fully ready to die? I stack the linen closets. I think of all the things I might never live to do. I think of all the things I am going to miss. My eyes will never know China's Jade Green Li River. I'm never going to see those black haired boys under straw brim hats fish off their bamboo rafts with the winged CORMORANTS, the mist rising behind over the KARST formation, so real and dark. I am never going to be ascending the LOITA hills of Cana to witness the dance of gazelles migrating up by the millions from the surrogate from the SERENGETY. I am not going to be swimming the sapphire waters of some South Pacific water, or sitting up late listening to the wind whisper through the sequoia woods, or spending my golden years scaling the summit of Emerald, MACHU. I want my hand across the thick of the terry towers. I'm a farmer's wife. I'm the homeschooling mother of 6 children. There are no fancy degrees, titles, diplomas hanging on these finger smudge walls. Are there places that must be known, accomplishments that must be had before one is really ready? I know the theological answers, but do my blood and my pulse? I remember once sitting at the hairdresser's, the woman beside me read, and I read her title in the reflection of the mirror. One, of the mirror. 1,000 places to see before you die. Is that it? Are there physical places that simply must be seen before I stop breathing within time, before I inhale eternity? Why? To say that I have had reason to bow low, to say that I have seen beauty, to say that I have been arrested by wonder. Isn't it here? Can't I find it here? These very real lungs will breathe in more than 11,000 liters of air today. And tonight over our farm will rise the great hexagon of the blazing Winter stars. Winter stars. Sirius. Ruby. AldebranCapella. The fairy. The fairy. Gemini twins. And Procyon. And in the center, Scarlet, Bettelgeuse. The wet, supergiant, larger, larger, then twice the size of Earth's orbit around the sun, and I will embrace the skin of a boy child that my body grew from a seed. The low heavens outside the pane windows fill with more snowflakes than stars. No two stacked crystals the same. The trees in the wood draw in collective green breath to the still of January hibernation, and God in the world will both ice from his room frost of heaven. Bind the chains of the Pleiades, loose the cords of Orion, and number again the strands on my head. Job chapter 38 verse 31. Matthew chapter 10 verse 30. Isn't it here the wonder? Why do I spend so much of my living hours struggling to see it? Do we truly stumble so blind that we must be affronted with blinding magnificence for our glory, so sight to recognize grandeur? The very same surging magnificence that cascades over our passage over our every day here. Who has time or eyes to notice? All my eyes can seem to fixate on all the splatters of disappointment across here and me. I close the bathroom linen closet, pick up a brush to swish toilets. I don't need more time to breathe so that I may experience more locales, possess more, accomplish more, because Wanda really could be here for the seeing eyes. So more time for more what? The face of Jesus flashes. Jesus, the God-man with his own termination date. Jesus, the God-man who came to save me from prisons of fear and guilt and depression and sadness, with an expiration of less than 12 hours. What does Jesus count? Count as all most important. And he took bread, gave thanks, and broke it, and gave it to them. Luke chapter 22, verse 19. NIV, this. I live in this place, make porridge, scrub toilets, do laundry, and for days, weeks, I am brave, and I do get out of bed, and I think on this. I study this, the full life, the being fully ready for the end. I start to think that maybe there is a way out of nightmares to dreams. Maybe. I thumb run my finger across the pages of the heavy and thick books bound. I read it slowly. In the original language, he gave thanks. Reads EUCHARISTEO. I underline it on the page. Can it lay a sure foundation under a life? Offer the fullest life? The root word of EUCHARISTEO is CHARIS, meaning grace. Jesus took the bread and saw it as grace and gave thanks. He took the bread and knew it to be gift and gave thanks. But there is more, and I read it EUCHARISTEO. Thanksgiving envelopes the Greek word for grace CHARIS, but it also holds its derivative, the Greek word CHARA, meaning joy. Yes, I might be needing me some of that. That might be what the quest for more is all about. That which AUGUSTINE claimed, without exception, or try their hardest to reach the same goal. That is joy. I breathe deep, like a sojourner, finally coming home. That has always been the goal of the fullest life, joy. Am I live? Knew exactly how elusive that slippery three letter word joy can be. I think of it then again that night of nightmares, the flame, frantic, moon-eyed lunge for more what? And this was it. I could tell how my whole being responded to that one word. I longed for more life, for more holy joy. That's what I was struggling out of nightmares to reach, to seize joy. But where can I seize this holy grail of joy? I look back down to the page. Was this the clue to the quest of all? Most important, deep, CHARA joy is found only at the table of the EUCHARISTEO, the table of Thanksgiving. I sit there long, wondering, is it that simple? Is the height of my CHARA joy dependent on the depths of my EUCHARISTEO thanks? So then, as long as thanks is possible, I think this through. As long as thanks is possible, then joy is always possible. Joy is always possible. Whenever, meaning now. Wherever, meaning here. The holy grail of joy is not in some exotic location or some emotional mountain peak experience. The joy wonder could be here in the messy, piercing ache of now. Joy might be unbelievably possible. The only place we need CC before we die is this place of seeing God here and now. I whisper, it out loud. Let the tongue feel these sounds. Let the tongue feel these sounds. The air. Hear. Their truth. Hear their truth. CHARIS, grace. EUCHARISTEO, thanksgiving. CHARA, joy. A triplet of stars, a constellation in the black, a threefold cord that might hold a life offer, a way up into the fullest life, grace, thanksgiving, joy, EUCHARISTEO, a Greek word that might make meaning of everything, When children sleep under the scraps, stitch into quilt, and the clock ticks too loudly through the dark hours, and the spiral galaxies spin in space. I lie under the Afghan by the fire and read the words of an old sermon. It is weeks later now, and the mind stores things, waiting for such a time when God aligns the stars. I read, the greatest thing is to give thanks for everything. He who has learned this knows what it means to live. He has penetrated the whole mystery of life, giving thanks for everything. Breathe, leaves the lungs, I whisper in the dark. EUCHARISTEO. It really might be the mystery to the fullest life. I lie on relief. I might have found the Holy Grail and lost it, moved on, and yet, really, hadn't God set the Holy Grail in the center of Christianity? EUCHARISTEO. It's the central symbol of Christianity. Thanksgiving. The table with its emblems is the essence of what it means to live the Christ life. Sunday after Sunday, in our denominational Bible church, we are formally invited to take the bread, the wine. Doesn't the continual repetition beginning our week at the table of the EUCHARIST clearly place the whole of our lives into the context of Thanksgiving. And two, it's the most common of foods, bread. The drink of the vine has been part of our meal, taking across centuries and cultures. Jesus didn't institute the EUCHARIST around some unusual rare once a year event, but around this continual act of eating a slice of bread, drinking a cup of food from the vine. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 26 reads, whenever you eat this bread and drink this cup, NIV, whenever, like every day, whenever we eat, EUCHARISTEO, whenever, now, joy, wherever, here. Doesn't Christ at his death meal said that's at the entirety of our everyday bread and drink and drink lives into the framework of EUCHARISTEO. The Big Dipper looks low outside the window. Yet how does the framework of EUCHARISTEO undergird a life penetrating the mystery? It's like discovering galaxies. There is always more. I stand the next morning on planks of light lying down across the floor, and I bake bread, yeasty dough, moist between my fingers, and that one word works me again and again. EUCHARISTEO. I won't let it go this time. I will enter into the mystery. I shape loaves and think how Jesus took the bread and gave thanks, and then the miracle of the multiplying of the loaves and fishes. How Jesus took the bread and gave thanks, and then the miracle of Jesus enduring the cross for the joy set before him. How Jesus stood outside Lazarus' tomb, the tears streaming down his face, and he looked up and prayed, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. John chapter 11 verse 41 NIV. And then the miracle of a dead man rising. Thanksgiving rises the dead, the empty, stiff, CADAVER, surging, the veins full of blood, the ALVEOLI of the lungs filling with oxygen, the coronary arteries full of the other swoosh of the warming life. How there is thanks. And then the mind-blowing miracle. I lay loaves into pans and feel years of the anguish lying down to EUCHARISTEO. Thanksgiving always precedes the miracle. The bread rises, and I stand in the kitchen stirring a kettle of lentil soup, the one that calls for the salsa and the carrots and the hungry children. And I read while you're stirring, and I have to sit down to let the words find their places. The only real fall a man is his NONEUCHARISTIC life NONEUCHARISTIC world. That was the fall. NONEUCHARISTEO. Ingratitude was the fall. Humanity's discontent with all that God freely gives. That is what has scraped me raw. Ungratefulness. Then define Eden, the abundance of paradise. I need to forsake my NONEUCHARISTEO, my bruised and bloodied ungrateful life, and grab hold to EUCHARISTEO, a lifestyle of thanksgiving, might a life of EUCHARISTEO Aristeo. Willie Walk, the miracle of the God communion. I rise from the chair. That's when I begin to track it. Whenever I open my Bible, the red pen in hand, hunt down the trail of EUCHARISTEO through Scripture. Will it leads Bob's and I am surprised and I will. On the night when he was betrayed, the Lord Jesus took some bread and gave thanks to God for it. Then he broke it in pieces. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verses 23 to 24. Emphasis added. Jesus, on the night before the driving hammer and iron piercing through ligament and sinew, receives what God offers as grace. CHARIS, the germ of his thanksgiving. EUCHARISTIA. Facing the abandonment of God himself. Does it get any worse than this? Jesus offers thanksgiving for even that which will break him and crush him and wound him and yield a bounty of joy. CHARA. The mystery always contains more mysteries. Do I really want this way? I listened to Matthew chapter 11 for a whole week while exercising, panting hard, skin flushed with life, before I snare this truth, and it snares me. Then Jesus began to denounce the cities in which most of his miracles had been performed because they did not repent. Woe to you, KORAZIN, woe to you, BETHSAIDA. If the miracles that were performed in you had been performed in Sodom, it would have remained to this day. Matthew chapter 11 verses 20 to 21 and verse 23 NIV. And then what does Jesus directly do in the face of apparent failure when no one responded to his teaching and things didn't work out at all? He lives out EUCHARISTEO at that time precisely. At that failing time, Jesus answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth. Matthew chapter 11, verse 25 KJV. In the midst of what seems a mess, in the tripping up and stumbling down of all hopes, Jesus gives thanks. What precedes the miracle is thanksgiving. EUCHARISTEO. And it is a Greek word with a hard meaning that is harder yet to live. Do I really want to take up this word? But I wonder it one Sunday as they passed the broken loaf on that plate, a silver from Paul, VANDEKEMP, to Juan, COLLINS, to TAMMI, Lindsay, reaching forward over her kids. Maybe I already take up EUCHARISTEO. A-R-I-S-T-E, apophysis, hard meaning. Every time I take communion, in a very tangible physical act, aren't I enacting my thanksgiving for his pain, in a very real way, in a digestible, consuming oneness way. I'm celebrating greater gain through great loss. It's not the cup of thanksgiving for which we give thanks, a participation in the blood of Christ, and it's not the bread that we break, a participation in the body of Christ. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 16 NIV. The EUCHARIST invites us to give thanks for dying, to participate in his death with our own daily dying, and give thanks for it. Then Miss KLUMPENHOWER passes me the silver plate, and I tear off my small chunk, a bread chunk of the dead and risen again wheat. I feel the GRANULES between the fingers. I lay the torn bread on the tongue, and I remember and press it to the roof of my mouth, and the bread melts, and I give thanks for the dying. I swallow it down. This constellation in the dark grace, thanksgiving joy. It might be like that, reaching for stars. So hard. Is there some easier way to the fulfilling life? The fulfilling life. The day I peel back chapter 17 of Luke's Gospel, I think I have my answer. I sit at the prayer bench before my bedroom window. Outside, our boys roll millions of flakes into a snow fort. I read the passage one. I remember from the musty basement of the Knox Presbyterian Church Sunday School. I think I know this one. Jesus restores 10 lepers to wholeness, and only one returns to offer any thanks. I remember the moral too. Miss Morrison and her glossy red lipstick. How often do you remember to say thanks? Yes, I think I know this one. I skimmed one of them when he saw he was here, came back praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. Luke chapter 17 verses 15 to 16 NIV. Yes, thankfulness. I know. Next verse. Jesus says, were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Was no one found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner? Then he said to him, rise and go, your faith has made you well. Luke chapter 17 verses 17 to 19 NIV. Wait, I trace back. Hadn't Jesus all already completely healed him, exactly like the other 9 who were cured, who hadn't bothered to return and thank him. So what does Jesus mean? Your faith has made you well. Had I under interpreted this passage miss some hidden mystery? I slow down and dig. I read Jesus' words and Young's literal translation, and Jesus said to him, having risen, be going on, thy faith has saved thee. Saved thee? I dig deeper. It's S-O-Z-O in the Greek. Many translations render S-O-Z-O as being made well or whole, but its literal meaning. I read it to save. S-O-Z-O means salvation. Salvation. It means true wellness, complete wholeness. To live S-O-Z-O is to live the full life. Jesus came that we might live life to the full. He came to give us S-O-Z-O. And when did it? The leper received S-O-Z-O, the saving to the full whole life. When he returned and gave thanks, I laid down my pen. Our very saving is associated with our gratitude. Miss Morrison hadn't mentioned this, but of course, if our fall was the NONEUCHARISTEO, the ingratitude, then salvation must be intimately related to EUCHARISTEO, the giving of thanks. I look back to the text. That is what it says. Thy faith has saved thee. And the leper's faith was a faith that said thank you. Is that it? Jesus counts thanksgiving as integral in a faith that saves. We only enter into the full life if our faith gives thanks. Because how else do we accept his free gift of salvation if not with thanksgiving? Thanksgiving is the evidence of our acceptance of whatever he gives. Thanksgiving is a manifestation of our yes to his grace. Thanksgiving is inherent to a true salvation experience. Thanksgiving is necessary to live the well, whole, fullest life. If the church is in Christ, its initial act is always an act of thanksgiving, of returning the world to God. White Orthodox theologian Alexander S. Chmemmann. If I am truly in Christ, mustn't my initial act to always be an act of thanksgiving, returning to Jesus with thanks on the lips. I would read it much later in the pages of the Psalms at the close of a communion service, as the bread and the wine will return to the table. The farmer handing his Bible over to me, his finger holding the verse for me to see, because he had just waited there. What I, what I had been saying, living, believing, and the chin would quiver before I brim at the way God shows his salvation. He who sacrifices thank offerings honors me, and he prepares the way so that I may show him the salvation of God. Psalm chapter 50, verse 23. NIV Thanksgiving. Giving thanks in everything prepares the way that God might show us his fullest salvation in Christ. The act of sacrificing thank offerings to God, even for the bread and cup of cause for cancer and crucifixion. This prepares the way for God to show us his fullest salvation from bitter, angry, resentful lives and from all sin that estranges us from him at the EUCHARIST. Christ breaks his heart to heal ours. Christ, the complete accomplishment of our salvation, and the miracle of EUCHARISTEO never ends. Thanksgiving is what precedes the miracle of that salvation being fully worked out in our lives. Thanksgiving, giving thanks in everything is what prepares the way for salvation's whole restoration. Our salvation in Christ is real, yet the completeness of the salvation is not fully realized in a life until the life realizes the need to give thanks in everything. I would never experience the fullness of my salvation until I express the fullness of my thanks every day. And EUCHARISTEO is elemental to living the save life. Miss Morrison hadn't told me this either, and sitting there before the window, I'm struck. A comet blazing across the empty dark of my life. All those years thinking I was saved and had said my yes to God, but was really living the no. Was it because I had never fully experienced the whole of my salvation, had never lived out the fullest expression of my salvation in Christ, because I wasn't taking everything in my life and returning to Jesus, falling at his feet and thanking him. I sit still, blinded. This is why I sat all those years in church, but my soul holds had never fully healed. EUCHARISTEO, the Greek word with the hard meaning and the harder meaning to live. This is the only way from empty to full. I watch our boys carve in the wall of the snow fort. They dig, and their cheeks flame with the heat of the work, the hair damp with the effort. I think of the mother of the daughter with cancer. My father-in-law asking If I am ready to go home, no, I still have no words. Our tallest son has a shovel, and the youngest son a garden spade, and they dig into their wall. I have just one word, a word to seize and haul up out of a terminal nightmare, a word for fearless dying, for safe, fully healed living, a word that works. The miracle that heals the soul and raises the very dead to life, the packed snow. The other fort gives way, and there it is, a door in the wall. EUCHARISTE. The way through is hard, but do I really want to be saved? Okay, that's all for chapter 2.